called ASARECA. ASARECA is a non-governmental organization, and it is an intergovernmental entity that has got 15 countries, having admitted the Federal Republic of Somalia in May of 2023. So as ASARECA, being an intergovernmental organization, policy is a major component of our work. Gender mainstreaming and gender in its totality is another major component that drives our 15 member countries with regards to the agricultural research for development in the region. So how do we as ASARECA make sure that working with the ministers who form the council of our governance organ, how can we as ASARECA come up with good policies, policies that touch on gender, and policies that also touch on climate smart agriculture interventions? Then, because of these requirements, ASARECA, which I'm the lead, we decided to organize this workshop. And this workshop is what we call a dialogue, a policy dialogue on gender mainstreaming, on climate relevant agriculture within the region. The major segment, which is gender, we want to look at what is the status of gender in all our 15 countries. Do we have focal persons who are responsible for making sure that gender activities are dealt with? Majority of the farmers, as we know, are women. Access to the technologies that can make them increase their productivity is a concern. And if we don't have a good gender policy that will encourage these women even to access the good technologies, climate smart technologies, to boost their productivity, then we are failing. If we don't have good policies that will allow these women also to access good markets, not just local markets, but even markets within the region, then we will be failing. So we wanted to see, do we have a workable policy that supports women at the local level as farmers, women in leadership, so that when they're in leadership, they can also influence policy activities at that high level. And so we are targeting to making sure that we have in each country ASARECA gender focal persons. These gender focal persons must be very senior people who work within the government and majorly within the agriculture docket, but who also have got a route to the smallholder farmer, and who also has got a route to the Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization, because that's where the research really is. And I'm glad we even have a gender focal person from the Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization in the meeting. So this meeting looks at that aspect of the gender, the policies that surround the gender. But the most important part of it, we also have policy influencing mechanisms. Because you can have a good policy, but if you don't have policy pushers, policy advocates, who can then now go and translate this policy into action, we will have failed. So we have policy experts in the room. These are the people who will now take this policy, translate it into a plan, put a budget to it, send it back to their respective countries, discuss with their ministries, make sure that a budget is allocated to the gender-based activities, access to the technologies, access to the markets. So these people are here, they are discussing how best they can do that process to make sure that this policy is not only on paper, but it goes and is implemented. But then how do we as ASARECA help them to know that this policy is working? We have developed a tool, what we call a policy practice tool. So this tool is going to be used in collecting the activities that we are doing in terms of policy analysis, policy formulation, what needs to be taken to the parliamentary groups for discussion, what needs to be taken to the ministers for discussion. So this tool will enable us to tell them that you are at this lower level, but you need to be at a certain level for this to pass even within the parliamentary group meeting. So this tool will also be discussed, and they will know how to use it, how to collect the data, and how to analyze their own data, and it will show them which areas of the policy are weak, which areas are moderate, which areas are good. So that is the major reason why we are here. But we want to see impact. How many women are we taking from poverty? How many women are we making not to lose food or to miss food? We want to know how many women are we supporting to avoid the food wastage even after they've harvested. So all of those are part of the gender policy that we are looking at. At the end of the day, if implemented, it will have moved our women and our youth from the lower level where most of them are to a good level where they can also negotiate even for good market, for good quality products.